All right, you're live.
Okay, well, welcome everybody to the March 15th meeting of the Town of Conception Bay South Council for our public meeting. As you know, best laid plans, of course, we were hoping to be back in the chamber tonight, but here we are back on Zoom. We're doing things with safety in mind and of course, best interest of our staff and our council. So that's why we're here again. I'll chalk it up to the Ides of March. So anyway, we're going to start our meeting this evening with the usual way, the adoption of the meeting agenda for March 15th. Do I have someone to move that? Deputy Mayor Goss, seconder, Councillor Hardy. Okay, all in favor, of course. And next we have adoption of the meeting minutes of March 1st, 2022. Do I have a mover?
So moved.
Moved by Councillor Tilley, seconded by Councillor Butler. Okay, business arising from the minutes. We will deal with those as we go through the minutes tonight, or the meeting tonight and meetings in the future. Things always come back around, of course. And tonight for visitors, presentations, and petitions. Of course, we don't have any visitors, but we do have a couple proclamations. Waiting for it to pop up here now. There it is. So the first proclamation is Easter Seals Month. So, whereas approximately 100,000 people of all ages in our province live with disabilities such as physical, sensory, cognitive, or other disabilities, which present barriers to full participation in society. And whereas Easter Seals, Newfoundland and Labrador, is a charitable organization with a vision for a community where all people with disabilities live full, healthy, and active lives, a mission to engage, inspire, and maximize opportunities for people with disabilities of all ages by providing meaningful programs and services. And whereas Easter Seals NL's recreation programs help those with disabilities explore what they can do through independence camps, art and music therapy, and adaptive sports, promoting full, active, and healthy, socially engaged lifestyles. And whereas Easter Seals NL offers career educational services to assist those with barriers to employment transition successfully from home and school into adulthood and independence, with a focus on preparing for, obtaining, and maintaining gainful employment. And whereas Easter Seals NL I Can Too Disability Awareness Program activities foster disability awareness and sensitivity and provide tools for accessibility and inclusion. Therefore, with the support of the Council of Conception Bay South, I sign this proclamation and declare the month of March 2022 to be observed throughout the town as Easter Seals Month. And I call upon all citizens of the town to support this worthy charitable organization and the people of all ages and all disabilities it serves. Okay. And the next one. Again, taking its time to open. This one is Town of Conception Bay South expressing publicly its support for the Bay du Nord project. Whereas council has been focused on the opportunities the offshore industry can provide to our municipality due to our expansive sheltered bay and continues to take a proactive approach to investment attraction. And whereas Council has a strong mandate built on economic development with a goal of growing our commercial tax base to alleviate financial pressures on and improving services for our 27,000 plus residents. And whereas we are aligned with industry partners who share a long-term vision of economic sustainability by capitalizing on and supporting commercial development opportunities. And whereas Council is very cognizant of the importance of environmental sustainability and encouraged that Bay du Nord has the potential to produce the lowest carbon barrels of oil in Canada. And whereas the Bay du Nord project will create jobs for our residents, increase supply opportunities for our businesses, and will positively impact the economy of our province. Therefore, be it resolved that the approval be given for the Town of Conception Bay South to offer its full support to the Bay du Nord project and respectfully request the Government of Canada realize the critical importance of the project to the economic sustainability of Newfoundland and Labrador. Okay, so we've got the proclamations done this evening, and of course, we will move on now to new business. And this evening, we are starting with Councillor Rex Hillier.
Yes, Your Worship, good evening. Your Worship, since going back to the Bay of Nord one, since I was born in the now resettled little community of Bay of Nord, I thought I'd take a moment and express my thoughts a little bit this evening. Your Worship, this is a big project, and if it goes ahead, somebody's going to benefit. Somebody's going to benefit in a big way, and we'd like to be in on it as a town. In your preamble, you talked about the sheltered day. We've got a harbor available to support the offshore. We would expect population growth. We would expect commercial growth, and we know that was one of the things when we campaigned was the issue of trying to take a tax burden off our residents. Your Worship, provincially, obviously it's a big deal as well. We all know the degree to which our provincial budget is tied to oil and gas, and this would have a huge impact provincially as the world transitions away from carbon-based energy. And also at the national level, with the goings on in Ukraine and in Europe in general, we've seen the impact on fuel prices and gas prices. And we need to develop as a country our own oil. As you indicated, this is a low carbon oil, and we have need for it in a foreseeable future. So as with your motion, as an individual, I support that as well. Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you, Councillor Hillier. Well said. Next, we have Councillor Shelly Moores.
Good evening. Thank you, Mayor Bent. I have a couple of things I want to mention tonight. First off, I just want to give a big shout out and thank you to all the councillors and members of our community who joined us for International Women's Day celebration. I think it's definitely easy to say that our first event was a huge success, and we're very grateful for everyone who tuned in, and of course our amazing panelists, and hope that this is the start of something big moving forward. Myself and Deputy Mayor Goss and Councillor Hardy and Councillor Butler also had the opportunity to attend an event at Government House for International Women's Day, and I think I speak for all of us, and that it was a great experience, and it was wonderful to be there with so many outstanding women and to celebrate that day. With regards to community, I just want to point out a few events that are coming up. The St. Patrick's Day Senior Social, which you have to call and book, which is March 17th from 12 to 12:30. So you can just call 834-6500, extension 601, if you would like to participate in that. Also, our Easter camp registration, which is going to be, the camp is going to be April 18th to 22nd. Online registration opens March 23rd at 6 p.m. And finally, we are still looking for nominations for our volunteer awards for the Youth Volunteer and Citizen of the Year. So just so I'm sure everyone out there knows someone that would be eligible for these things that do a lot of great things in our community. So the deadline for those, for your submissions, is April 1st. And that's not that far away. So please get your submissions in. And that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Moores. Councillor Paul Connors.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just to follow up on both Councillor Hillier and Councillor Moores, first of all, I wanted to congratulate my fellow councillors and the staff who organised and delivered the International Women's Day event last week. It was a fantastic event. The diversity of the speakers was unbelievable. Knowing that we have such remarkable female business leaders in our community is very inspiring. So it was a great job to the organisers, and for those residents who were unable to attend, I highly recommend that you watch it on our town's YouTube channel. Next, I wanted to echo what Councillor Hillier and what you in our proclamation tonight. I'm very pleased that we passed the resolution tonight to support the Bay of North project. As there are so many residents in our town who are directly or indirectly involved in the oil and gas industry, and And I'm pleased that we could show our support for the continued growth of that sector. In addition to many residents employed, as has been highlighted here, and mentioned in the offshore oil and gas sector industry, there's also opportunities for our town to benefit from this project. There's economic development opportunities to grow our commercial tax base, as pointed out. I would say many residents probably don't even realize that we have one of the largest supplier to the offshore industry in Atlantic Canada, up at the end of Fowler's Road, the Blue Water Group, at the top of Fowler's Road in the industrial park up there. So like we've already have some of that here in our community. So looking forward to more. So as stated, the Beta Nord project is going to provide significant employment and economic activity to our province, but it's also going to be valuable to our town. So showing support to this project is good for our residents and hopefully good for the economic development and the commercial tax base for our town. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Connors. Deputy Mayor Andrea Goss.
Okay, didn't mean to do that, but thank you. Thanks. A couple things I was going to mention have already been mentioned, but I'm just going to touch on them, and I'm going to be quick tonight. I want to speak to International Women's Day of March the 8th. I want to thank all of council and staff for helping us put together a wonderful evening. Considering the amount of time that we had to put something together, I think we really did it well. Everyone really enjoyed the feedback. It's been fabulous. Our panelists were amazing speakers. It truly was a very authentic conversation, and it was real. And anyway, we'll be doing something again next year. We've got this year marked, and each year now we hope to do something a little bit bigger, a little bit better. So thanks to everyone. It surely takes a team to pull something together, and this was a clear example of what teamwork does. I want to mention the Youth Volunteer of the Year and Citizen of the Year awards coming up. The nominations, the deadline's April 1st, and there's so many great people in our community, so many wonderful volunteers. In the events that I've had the opportunity to work in, summer games and the Pinties curling and all the breakfast programs and things, Manuel's River, I've worked with some amazing people. And one of the things I realized in the town of Conception Bay South is if there's something to be done, there's people who come out to do it. So I really impress upon people to don't let this opportunity pass by. If you know of someone who is a very devout volunteer in the community, take the time, do the application, be done online. You can get a paper copy and get it in. It's a great event, and it's a great opportunity to honor someone who truly deserves it. That's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Goss. Councillor Josh Barrett.
Thank you, Your Worship. And I also feel compelled to touch on the proclamation you made earlier regarding the town support for Beta Nord. And I had a number of folks ask me, given my perspective on things and given certain comments I've made in council chambers already about where I stand and how Beta Nord can help transition the province to a cleaner energy future. And I think most of you are probably aware now the things I ran in my platform, and I truly believe climate change is one of the biggest issues, if not the biggest issue in our town. And since being elected, we've already made motion after motion to address these impacts, such as coastal erosion at the wastewater treatment plant. We've had unprecedented flooding in January and February of this year. We've had considering pursuing a study on landslides in Manuel's River, given and the potential implications of that. And later this evening, Councillor Moores will be providing a motion to do repairs on the CBS rec complex roof because of extreme wind and weather. And our town and our council is committed to trying to rectify some of these ongoing impacts, but there's also a role to mitigate future impacts. And the way we can do that is trying to reduce our greenhouse gas emissions. And the biggest contributor to greenhouse gas emissions in the world is energy. And in 2021, the world recorded a new record for the most amount of renewable energy use. And that's great. You know, we have new societies, new countries using solar, using hydro as their primary source of power. And that's great. That's a low carbon, low emission energy use. In 2021, we also saw a new world record of coal consumption for energy use. And coal is one of the most high intensive carbon contributors for energy on record. And so on one end, we have a record high for renewable energy. And on the other end, we have a record high for coal. And you might be wondering, well, that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And it does. And here's why. Because year after year, globally, we continue to have and have a demand for energy. This council is committed to putting in work for a community center. We've seen a lot of growth in residential development. We're getting new roads, all these things, all of that takes energy. And that's just going to continue to grow. So without question, we need to all do our part to decarbonize our energy process. But that is a global undertaking that will take years to do. And we're in a position where societies are still dependent on coal. And in Canada and in Newfoundland, Labrador, we have appropriate regulatory mechanisms that allow the production of ethical and low carbon oil compared to other jurisdictions. And I'm not even just talking about what's going on in the world right now. There's plenty of other countries that develop unethical oil. And so because of all this, I just wanted to kind of paint a picture about why I believe Bay du Nord has potential for us to transition to a cleaner future, energy future here in the province. So that is all the comments I have on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Barrett. And yes, and it's the buzz of the oil industry now, the greener barrel, and that's real work that oil companies are doing. And we've met with a few of them over the past number of months, and it's important to them. And of course, we believe our positioning here in Conception Bay South for the Orphan Basin and so forth, it's a shorter route. It creates a greener barrel when you're doing business in the offshore and you're doing business with CBS. And of course, Councillor Hillier mentioned blue water, and there's others up in this area that can benefit from that, and we all can. And of course, you know, no one believes that oil is going to disappear as a commodity anytime soon. There are so many applications that it's used for, and I think it's important that we support the greener barrel, the lower carbon oil that comes from our fields. And it's important for our town, it's important for our province, and it's important for our country. And we encourage all municipalities to get on board and support the Bay du Nord and this project moving forward. Councillor Hardy.
Thank you, Mayor Bent. Just a couple of things wanted to, I guess, talk about this evening. Fellow councillors already done an awesome job speaking about the Bay du Nord, so I'll certainly I'll leave all of their excellent comments there. International Women's Day was such an inspiring, motivating session that evening. We had some fabulous women on our panel. I think everyone was able to take away a little nugget from that couple of hours that we were all sitting there listening and chatting. It was so nice. It was well received. I've got so many great compliments about the panelists, how well organized it was. So, you know, a huge shout out to everyone involved in that, but also a shout out to our fellow male councillors who participated, because it just goes to show that they also support women in the municipality and, women in general. So I thought that was really nice to see. Something else I wanted to bring forward, as I do most meetings, is bingo evening this Thursday. Thursday, March 17th. I know it's St. Paddy's Day, so maybe wear something green, something festive. Doors open at 6:30, starts 7:30 sharp. Not a minute later. You do not want to interrupt that bingo calling, because some people are pretty intense there. And again, it's in support of the Field of Dreams softball field there in Foxtrot. They've done a lot of great work there, so they're continuing to do this weekly fundraiser on Thursday evenings. Second thing I wanted to do a shout out there is on Monday, March 21st is World Down Syndrome Day. As most people know, that this here is very near and dear to my heart. I do have a niece with Down syndrome, so it's something we certainly participate with each year. So some of the things you can do is just, rock it out and wear some bright and colorful socks on Monday, March 21st, tag it on social media, and just goes to show that you support, I guess, everyone with a different ability. So just want to put that out there for my niece, Kate, that it is World Down Syndrome Day on Monday, March 21st. Thanks, Mayor Bent.
Thank you, Councillor Hardy. Councillor Christine Butler.
Thank you, Mayor Bent. Good evening, everybody. You've all said so much about the International Women's Day already. And all I can do is add to it to say that it was just a wonderful start to what I think will be a few years, especially with this council starting off, of celebrating and getting together and doing things. And hopefully next year we'll be getting together in person and doing things. And just thank you to all for your participation. And to those that haven't seen it, as was mentioned before, please try and watch it on YouTube. Some wonderful speakers, great questions, and awesome answers. Manuels River Board of Director AGM is going to be held on March 27th at 3 p.m. It's a hybrid event. You can attend in person or online. The meeting, they're also looking for individuals to join their board of directors. If there's something that interests you here, or you know of someone who would be interested, you can find the notice on their website, or by reaching out to our staff who can share the notice along with you. Year of the Garden. At the last council meeting, the mayor proclaimed 2022 as Year of the Garden. It is the desire of council to initiate a call for members of the community to come together to devise a committee to brainstorm potential initiatives for the year-long celebration. The town is seeking interested individuals to join a steering committee to guide the town's participation in a community-wide beautification initiative. If you would like to contribute as a member of this committee, please email ecdev@conceptionbaysouth.ca or phone 834-6500 extension 705. Let me see, I have a few more here. I saw a Facebook share today with tailors, and we all know tailors very well, and they're one of our speakers at our International Women's Day, and the staff of Volcano Bakery. It's so great to see two local businesses work together. What it is tailors are selling their products in their store. So they're both getting the exposure. They're both getting people in the door. And by doing this, you help each other out. And if that's not what local business and trying to do more for your own is about, then what is it about? So I just wanted to say kudos to them for doing that. And I've seen other initiatives too over the years, but just thought I'd mention that. And also, even though masking is not mandatory anymore, some of our local businesses may well still want to have people respect their business being a small area and not having much area to move around in. And a number of the employers here in CBS probably still be wearing masks. So it would be a good idea if you can follow their rule or whatever it is they want to have, and respect their wishes to wear a mask. That would be good and appreciated by them. One more thing that I just saw before I came on, that's why I was late, and I wasn't really late. CBS Bright Stars just won the Choose to Include prize for having the most pictures posted with the donuts, sponsored by Tim Hortons for the Special Olympics Newfoundland and Labrador. And I was one of them. I got my donut and had my picture and put it in there. And I always love supporting our CBS Bright Stars. So the Special Olympics raised almost $33,000 through this initiative. And all these funds go right back to the programs here in Newfoundland and Labrador. And that's just a wonderful, wonderful thing for everybody. And thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Butler. Last word tonight, Councillor Gerard Tilley.
I had to find my mute button. Thank you, Your Worship. Just a couple of items I'd like to bring up. First of all, I'd like to thank my fellow councillors who organized the International Women's Day Forum last week. I thought it was absolutely a humbling experience to sit and listen to the stories from the ladies. And the one thing that struck me as funny, you know, I shouldn't say funny, it struck me hard, is that when the Taylor sisters talked about, you know, when they took over the business, and when someone come in and say, you know, well, I want to speak to your father. I mean, I can picture that from many years, from all aspects of work life in CBS, because, you know, it's just strange. We're always like that, but I give the girls kudos for certainly they've done a bang up job in operating that business, and of course kudos go out to Michelle and Gina as well. So congratulations again, ladies, and I look forward to participating next year. Just to touch upon what Councillor Moore said as well about the Citizen Volunteer of the Year. Guys, you know, just reach out to your friends. I mean, like, you know, if you're sitting down watching TV, and like, just start thinking about it. There has to be someone, you know, in this community who goes above and beyond. I can, like, just since Shelly mentioned 15 minutes ago, I've got a list of probably 5 names that I'd like to see go in as possible candidates for that. So I strongly encourage that folks do that. In keeping with one of your proclamations tonight, Your Worship, the Easter Seals Newfoundland and Labrador Ambassador Program is a young person with a disability who, for a 1-year term, becomes the face and voice of people with disabilities throughout Newfoundland and Labrador. The ambassador represents Easter Seals Newfoundland and Labrador and their participants at a variety of events, fundraisers, and media-related activities and other functions. The ambassador is someone who represents the incredible potential and amazing capabilities of people with disabilities. The ambassador is an individual between the age of 8 and 18 who displays self-assurance, comfort, and public communications with the intent of pursuing a post-secondary education. Along with the Scholarship for Future Education, thanks to the Fraser Edison Easter Seals Newfoundland Ambassador Trust, the ambassador gains tremendous public communications and media relation experience while being given unparalleled opportunities to meet and interact with political, corporate, and community leaders. I am proud to say today that the Easter Seals Newfoundland and Labrador Ambassador for 2022 is Brandon Bowen of Conception Bay South. Brandon, who was born with cerebral palsy, has become a household name throughout the province in traditional music circles, and his accordion playing has performed at a variety of festivals throughout the province and has played alongside bands Shanniganuk, Rum Ragged, Masters Men, just to name a few. I've had the opportunity to know Brandon for a long time. Brandon was granted a wish to make a wish foundation. Gosh, I'm dating myself now. So I guess I'm going back about 10 years, and his wish back then was that he wanted to see John Cena at WrestleMania, and sure enough, that dream came true for him, and he certainly enjoyed that for sure. So just, you know, I'd like to say congratulations, Brandon. He's certainly grown into a fine young gentleman, and I'm sure he will do that position proud for the next year, and he'll do CBS proud as well.
Thank you, Councillor Tilley. Yeah, it was great to see Brandon named the ambassador, and I know there's a few postings out on social media about Brandon and his background, and it's great to see a fantastic young man. I'll just mention a couple of things here this evening. I do want to, as my fellow councillors noted, International Women's Day. I thought it was a great event, and you know, and a lot I think was learned through the shared stories of our presenters, you know, and their personal experiences, you know, with biases and so forth, and also successes. because they are all successes and great role models, and not for all of the citizens of Conception Bay South. They should be looked up to, especially these, well, I say 5 women that presented were incredibly passionate about what they do, and they're true leaders in all the things that they do, and an inspiration. And you can just hear it from their voices, how passionate they are about the things they're involved in, and the successes that they've had. And I think that it was great for everyone to hear. And I think that we could learn a lot about it. I remember the ladies from Taylor's speaking about, and I think Councillor Tilley mentioned it as well, how when they started out, it was like, well, can I speak to your father, and so forth. And I thought about that because it hit home a bit. When I was really young, I splintered off a little bit of my parents' business and went out on my own. And of course, nobody talked to me. I was too young, and it was the same thing. They wanted to talk to Dad. Where's your father? I want to talk to him. And that's a bias as well. And I think about it, that they have seen that bias and they have worked beyond it. They not only overcome, they've captured it and thrown it away. And I think it's true of young people as well. When I thought of that, we got to be careful with our biases and how we project them and our own conduct with different groups. But it was a tremendous session, and I can't wait to see what we're going to do next year. We have an unlimited number of successful and talented and inspirational women in Conception Bay South who will fill out the International Women's Day listing for each event we do for years to come, and it's great to see. And I want to thank Councillors Hardy and Moores and Butler and Deputy Mayor Goss for bringing that together. And that was a fantastic picture out on social media at Government House. Very proud moment, I'm sure, and it bodes well for I think women in politics, not only here in our town but across the province. So congratulations and thank you for that event. I just want to mention one other thing. We were all glued to our TVs this past week watching curling again. And I just want to throw a big bouquet out to some remarkable curlers from this province, and especially a couple of young fellows from our town, Ben Stringer and of course Nathan Locke, who were Team Young at the Briar this past week. And they didn't rack them up in the win column, but they certainly racked it up in the respect column for their efforts out there. And they played really meaningful games and hard-fought games, and the scores didn't go the way they wanted. But it's a starting point for them, and the experience, I'm sure, will be invaluable. And I look forward to seeing all of these young men again in the Briar going forward. But the big congratulations, of course, is to the 3-man crew of Brad Gushu. Congratulations to him on behalf of our town, and all the best at the World Championships coming up in April. That's it for me. I just want to move on to the regular business now tonight. And as usual, we start off with recommendations of the Planning and Development Committee, and that would be Chair Rex Hillier.
Yes, Your Worship, these are recommendations brought forward from our committee meeting of March the 7th. We've got a couple to bring forward there this evening.
Excuse me, Councillor Hillier, I have to have conflict of interest for the very first one there, 5A, because I have family living very close proximity.
Okay. We good? All right, so be it so resolved that in accordance with Council's discretionary authority at section 10.7 of the Town's Development Regulations, application number 1220 received on February 1st, 2022 for redevelopment of property at 392 Conception Bay Highway as a personal service use salon be approved. So moved.
You have the motion. Do we have a seconder? Councillor Connors? Okay, discussion?
Yes, Your Worship, this is a former personal residence that we have a company that wants to redevelop it into a salon for personal use. And our staff and council have been working with the a couple of entrepreneurs to try and make that happen in that particular spot, which certainly has some challenges.
Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Contrary minded? Carried.
Number 5B. Be it so resolved that upon payment of processing fee and deposit and in accordance with section 14 of the Urban and Rural Planning Act 2000, the town initiate an amendment process to consider rezoning the property at 240, 258 Anchorage Road from residential low density R1 to the residential medium density R2. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Barrett, discussion?
Yes, Your Worship, most of the Anchorage Road area falls under the R1 low density zoning. In this case, we've got a piece of property on the far south end of Anchorage Road that a group wants to develop into a subdivision, and they're asking for it be rezoned to medium density R2 in order to do that.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded?
Aye.
Carried.
And Your Worship, the blanket statement.
Excuse me. There's Mayor Bent, there's an item there that in the blanket statement that I'll be in conflict of interest as a family member owns the property.
Okay, so can we move Deputy Mayor Goss and I believe Councillor Butler?
Butler, yes, because I'm, again, the same one as there in the blanket
Okay,
statement.
very good. So Councillor Butler, and I believe they're both gone now. So
Councillor Barrett is there as well.
Oh, sorry, Councillor Barrett. Yep.
But they talked about a property near my primary residence, so I will excuse myself.
Okay, let's move.
Myself as well, with regards to the same one that Councillor Barrett is declaring conflict on. I have a brother-in-law who lives in that immediate area as well.
Okay, all right, Councillor Tilley. So we are down on the quorum line now, Councillor Hillier. So you better read it quick. And
I thought I had all my votes lined up, but that's for sure now.
Yeah, we better read it quick before somebody else moves.
Yes, sir. Be it so resolved that decisions, recommendations made at the Planning and Development Committee meeting on March 7th, 2022 be accepted as presented. So moved.
Seconder.
Second.
Councillor Moores. Discussion?
Yes, Your Worship. You can see the list there as it's submitted in the report. Just want to draw your attention to two items there. Basically, there are two environmental assessment referrals, one for Rocky Pond Quarry, one for Witch Hazel Pond Farm. And it's interesting that two of them are in pretty much close proximity. The quarry assessment is one of three quarries that we've been dealing with around the Flagship Access Road intersection. And we have some real concerns about this one in terms of its impact on downstream waters flowing into our town. And also from an aesthetic point of view, if this one goes ahead, basically the vista that we get when we turn into our town to come down Flagship Access Road will be totally changed from hills and trees to a rock forest. So we got some concerns with this one. But it's interesting, the Witch Hazel Pond Farm one is in a proximity here, and what we've got is someone looking to open a farm, and most of that piece is in Conception Bay South, small portion of it in St. John's. And on this one, this is an area that has been used for agriculture for decades, and it fits very well into that use in that area, and we're certainly supporting it going forward.
Yeah, very good. Thank you. Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried. I think it's
Thank you, Your
safe to
Worship.
bring.
That's it for me for this evening.
We're going to bring the other four members of council back into the meeting. And one more, I believe, Councillor Tilley. Do we have Councillor Tilley? We need him. He's the next agenda item, so.
He's coming
Wait.
in.
We'll wait. There we go. All right, Councillor Tilley, welcome back. And so we're moving on to recommendations of Engineering and Public Works Committee. And of course, you are the chair, so lead the way.
Thank you, Worship. The following are our recommendations from our Engineering and Public Works Committee meeting held on March 8th. And the first one is the ratification approval to purchase light duty pickup trucks. And just a little, I guess, a little brief background on this one is that I believe we're still waiting on our pickup trucks from our 2021 purchase year. So, but unfortunately, I guess the COVID has put a I guess a slow make on those. But we were pretty fortunate that a couple of vehicles became available through I guess through someone else's demise. Well, we managed to hook in and managed to pick up two pickup trucks from a cancelled bid. So be it so resolved that we purchase 2 new light duty pickup trucks from Hickman Motors Limited at as quoted at an approximate cost of $111,230 plus HST. So moved.
Seconder,
Second.
Councillor Butler. Discussion? Any further? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Item 6B, approval to tender 1 new 2022-2023 municipal tractor. And I believe this is going to be a new sidewalk plow for our Public Works Department. Be it so resolved that approval be given to tender for 1 new 2022-2023 municipal tractor. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Hardy. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
And the next is an amendment to our municipal engineering residential subdivision standards with regards to fire hydrant ID tags. Of course, our Public Works Department has started a program now where we'll be able to actually identify all of the fire hydrants within the town. And for anyone who's not aware, we have about 1,300 of them. So of course, these tags will just basically give Public Works a better feel as to where all of our fire hydrants are, and of course any new subdivision that will be in part of the subdivision agreement as well. So they'll have to identify those tags. So be it so resolved that approval be given to amend Schedule 2 Subdivision Design Guidelines, page 44, section 6-2-7, to add subpoint to the town's municipal engineering residential subdivision standards, revision R1, August 2010, so that the section will read as follows. Hydrants. All hydrants are to have ID tags attached to hydrant marker poles as detailed in Schedule 6, appendices, standard forms and drawings attached. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Hardy. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Contrary minded? Carried.
And Worship, the final one is the blanket recommendation. And of course, as you can see there, we had some discussions regarding a roundabout first policy. We looked at our snow clearing policy amendments, our capital fleet from 2022, and we had some discussion regarding Tobin's Road and Concession Bay Highway intersection. Just a little update on our capital works projects, an issue on Tilley's Road South, and of course our water statistics, which we get that are taken every day. But right now, as usual, we are still in good drinking water. So be it so resolved that the recommendation decisions made at the Engineering and Public Works Committee meeting of March 8, 2022 be accepted as presented. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Butler. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Contrary minded? Carried.
Thank you, Worship. That's it for Public Works.
Thank you, Councillor Tilley. Recommendations of the Financial and Administrative Services Committee Chair is Deputy Mayor Andrea Goss.
I think
Missed
recreation is
recreation.
I think
next.
we skipped over recreation.
I'm trying to move things along quickly. Sorry.
You're doing a
as you
good
probably
job.
tell from my voice, I'm not 100% here tonight, so I'm doing the best I can. Sorry about that, Councillor. Councillor Moore's, of course, recommendations of the Recreation and Leisure Services Committee. You go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, Mayor Bent. So these are recommendations put forward at our meeting from March 8th, and one item that was put forward at our Committee of the Whole meeting tonight. So the first one is the CBS Recreation Complex roof repairs. So this is an issue that was ongoing, and 3 quotes were received. And evaluation of the bids have been completed, and it is recommended to award the contract to Single Pro Limited. So the recommendation is be it so resolved that approval be given to award the CBS Recreation Complex roof repairs to Shingle Pro Limited at a cost of $92,750 plus HST. Funds are available in account number 01-101-1000-5020. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Connors. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Okay, so some other items that we discussed at our meeting. I just have a blanket statement now, but a couple other things that were brought up. The online booking system, which we're excited to get moving, is a booking system that will be for all facilities, and staff and IT have been working very hard and hope to get this up and running very soon. So we will be advised soon when the rollout will happen. Also, there were some concerns about the canteen not being opened at the CBS Arena. So we just like to let everyone know that that has been fixed, and you will be able to get your stadium fries whenever you like now from this point on. So be it so resolved that the recommendations and decisions made at the Recreation Leisure Service Committee meeting of March 8th, 2022 be accepted as presented, to include discussions about the theater, CBS, online booking system, Chefs for Trails, the CBS Paradise Regional Food Bank, and multiple important dates, and of course the beach volleyball program and canteen. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Hardy. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Contrary minded? Carried.
And that is it. I will just point out that there are a lot of important dates coming up. So if people want to take a moment to go look at our minutes to see all the different important dates that we have coming up in the next couple of months.
Yeah.
Thank
Busy
you,
time
Mayor
coming
Bent.
up for sure. It's good,
Yeah.
good to be able to get back and doing things in person. And of course, we're going to have more events probably in the next 3 months. We probably had in the last 2 years publicly, but anyway, that's great. I think it's time now to move on to Deputy Mayor Andrea Goss with recommendations of the Financial and Administrative Services Committee.
Thank you, Mayor Bent. We'll make this quick. The recommendations of the Financial Administrative Services Committees from March the 7th are as follows. We have a capital invoice approval. Be it so resolved that approval be given to pay capital invoices totaling $43,225.63 as per the attached report. So moved.
Seconder.
Second.
Councillor Hillier. Further discussion?
This is just a couple of invoices for some engineering services and infrastructure solutions for the asset management software.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
So the next item is the accounts payable register. And be it so resolved that approval be given to pay accounts payable checks totaling $416,238.39 as per the attached report. So moved.
Seconder.
Second.
Okay.
Councillor Tilly. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary
Aye.
minded? Carried.
And then, oh wait, gotta vote. Hang on. Next item, 8C, manual checks. Be it so resolved that approval be given to pay manual checks totaling $684,165.40. So moved.
Seconder.
Second.
Councillor Butler. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Item 8D, direct payments. Be it so resolved that approval be given to ratify direct payments totaling $419,444.14. So moved.
Seconder,
Second.
Councillor Connors. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Item 8E is tax and other receivable adjustments. We reviewed some requests for some adjustments on some businesses that are closed, and anyway, be it so resolved that approval be given to adjust tax and other receivable accounts as follows. There's 4 accounts there: $2,020.52, $1,196.86, $354.10, $162.66. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Barrett. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Item 8F is our financial administrative services summary blanket resolution. And this is the items that we discussed. We had a conversation around neighborhood watch, which is something that we hope to bring forward in the near future in a partnership with the RNC. The Beta Nord environmental assessment, capital change orders, a capital project financial update, which is something that finance is doing for us at each meeting, giving us an update on where our capital projects are. Financial statement review, taxes receivable update, and the departmental reports. So be it so resolved that decisions and recommendations of the Financial and Administrative Services Committee held on March the 7th, 2022 be accepted as presented. So moved.
Seconder,
Second.
Councillor Tilly. Further discussion? I just want to note, Deputy Mayor, that we had a fantastic meeting with Constable Schwartz of the RNC discussing the Neighborhood Watch Program and revitalizing it, renewing it, I guess, for the town of Conception Bay South for areas where residents wanted. And I'm very pleased that I know we're looking at doing a pilot project to get it going again. And I think it's something that, if the residents wanted in their area, it's something that we would embrace and help them. And I know the RNC, of course, they have all the great information, the background on how it works and so forth. And they're a great partner here in Conception Bay South with us. So using them to that advantage, I think is a great idea. And it's great that you guys had it chatted out at your committee and had the meeting with Constable Schwartz. So thank you for that, and look forward to seeing some things happen with that over the next few months for sure. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Thank you, Mayor Bent.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. I'm just going to look closely now to make sure I don't miss anybody, but I believe it's recommendations of the Economic Development and Tourism Committee. Councillor Butler.
Thank you, Your Worship.
I got it right.
No, well, I'm the last, so nobody else.
You're not last, Councillor Butler.
Well, let's see, recommendations from our Economic Development Committee meeting of March 8th. We only have 2, we have 1 and then the blanket. So the first one is 9A, Downtown CBS Board of Management appointments. Be so resolved that approval be given to appoint Kathy Evans, manager of the Royal Newfoundland Yacht Club, as a director to Downtown Conception Bay South Board of Management. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Hillier. Further discussion?
Yes, Your Worship. On February 24th, during their regular monthly board meeting, the BIA board carried unanimously a motion to recommend the appointment of Kathy Evans, manager of the Royal Newfoundland Yacht Club, to the Board of Management as a director. Per the BIA regulations, appointees to the board require resolution of council. The committee concurred with the following recommendation, which I just read.
Thank you, Councillor Butler. And of course, it's great to see the Royal Newfoundland Yacht Club joining the board at the downtown CBS. A great addition, of course. It's good to see that for sure. Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Right.
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Okay, a blanket resolution. Be it so resolved that the recommendations made at the Economic Development Tourism Committee meeting of March 8th, 2022 be accepted as presented. And you'll see a list of some of the items that were discussed, and you can, of course, see them in the minutes that will be there eventually. So moved.
Seconder. Deputy Mayor Goss. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Contrary minded? Carried. Thank you, Councillor Butler. Does anyone have a report from other committees? Yes, Councillor Moores.
Thank you, Mayor. We had our strategic planning session for the downtown CBS board Thursday night past at Manuel Reserve. And I have to say a lot of great things came out of that strategic session. And I think a lot of things that are going to be very beneficial to the board moving forward. And I think we were all very excited at the end of the session and really looking forward to getting some more feedback and implementing all the things that were discussed there. So I think all around it was a great session. I know Councillor Hardy and Deputy Mayor Goss were also in attendance, and there was definitely a lot of good conversation, a lot of great things, I think, in the future for downtown CBS. So just wanted to pass that along. Thank you.
Yeah, that's great. It's glad to hear it was such a productive session for the coming year. Any other committee reports this evening? None? Okay, well, that pretty well ends it for this evening's public council meeting. I just want to say happy St. Patrick's Day to everyone out there, the Irish and the Irish at heart, and let you know that we'll be back with our next public meeting. It'll be April 5th, and I'm not going to predict again where we will be having it. I hope to have it in Chambers, but well, here we are. So you never know where we're going to be, but hopefully we'll be back in the building. So tonight, I'm not going to forget a call for a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Councillor Hillier, seconded by
Second.
Councillor Barrett. All in favor. Thank you and have a good night, everyone.
Night.
Good night.